It's been my honor to be part of this program. My name is Bill Flynn. I'll see you on the radio in the morning. I will be talking about you.
Good job, Bill.
We'll begin, I think it's turn up Mr. Kinley, and we'll just go straight through the line. 3 minutes, a closing statement. And again, thank you for your participation. I do also want to thank Ramona Tim for chairing this event as well. Ramona, thank you. Mr. Kinley.
Well, it's been a pleasure being here tonight. It's a pleasure running around the state. I would ask, first thing, pray for this country. Pray for this state. Pray for your churches that you attend, that your ministers will get some backbone in the pulpit and speak to some of the things that you said. And then I would ask your prayers, and I'm not going to ask for your prayers for vice chairmanship. I do a prison ministry, as I mentioned earlier. If I can turn one around there, you can look at it one or two ways. I can send them to heaven, and I can save us a whole lot of money from keeping them in prison and feeding and clothing them and keeping them there. But I would ask for that. And then I'm going to ask for your vote. I took a long time deciding to run for this, but I did it because I put my heart and soul and a lot of my money and everything else into this party over the last 20 years to get us where we are in North Carolina. But the battle isn't over yet, because the Democrats are never going to stop. They're going to try to take it back. They've already said they want to eviscerate all of our leaders and the governor and everyone else. And I see some of us, and I see some of my friends, you know, tearing down Republicans. The enemy folks are the Democrats. They are the enemy. And I'm going to go after them tooth and nail. And that's not to say that I won't walk up to a Republican that I think is doing wrong and put my arm around him and say, you know, I'd like to ask you why you wanted to vote that way, because I don't think that was correct. And maybe you forgot where we stand on this issue. And maybe you forgot the people that put you in office. Next time you stand for election, they might not be voting for you, but for someone else. But the thing about it is, I know organization is the main thing. And I have my little, you know, my little slogan, CEO, Communications, Education, and Organization. Got to communicate with everybody. Got to get out here and educate not only our people. We need to educate them on how the legislature runs. We need to educate them on how a bill is done. We need to educate them on advocacy. But we also got to educate the low information voter so that they can understand that, yes, Obamacare was passed a couple of years ago. 42% of them don't even know it. So the thing about it is, we have to educate those people, and then we have to organize. And we have to organize, folks, we have to organize down on the volunteer fire department level. That's how far down deep the Democrats go. If you control a volunteer fire department board in many communities, you run that community. We need to be putting Republicans on those boards so that we can build it from that ground all the way up. So I'm asking for your vote, and I'm asking for your support.
Thank you, Mr. Kinley. Richard Lee, 3 minutes.
It's been great to sit here and have this extension of the conversation. When you become my friends on Facebook, I always say, welcome to the conversation, because I know that's what drives this country, is us sharing with each other. Since I left the military, I've had a couple of assignments. I work as an independent business consultant. I help companies do what they do better. And to me, helping the party is really no different, only I don't get paid for it. I'm spending thousands of dollars traveling this state, campaigning for a job that does not come with a paycheck, to represent you and to do what I can to help you succeed, simply because I believe I can make a difference. When I took over the repair department of an automobile dealership in Raleigh back in '96 for Hurricane Fran, they were doing about 28 grand a month. 6 months later, we turned 48,000 a month. I didn't know anything about repairing cars. I didn't have to. When I took over the eastern half of North Carolina for the company that had the contract for Sears for kitchen remodeling, they had a 10-month backlog of service calls. And in 90 days, I cut that to a 90-day backlog, and I didn't know anything about remodeling kitchens. That kind of specific knowledge isn't what really makes a difference here. It has to do with your understanding the fundamental principles of administration, logistics, communications, and operations, and intelligence. and merging all of those functions and then doing it across the 100 counties. So that's what I bring to bear. I believe that I can help set this party to an even higher level and put it back on course to be the standard for conservatism here in North Carolina. I ask for your vote in Charlotte. I have a hospitality suite. I hope you'll come by, get to know my wife and I even better, and share your concerns with me. Because it's not about me telling you, it's about me listening to you and you knowing, as you already know from Facebook, I am not afraid to stand up and have the conversation with anybody about any topic. Just keep it civil. Thank you.
You have an additional 30 seconds if you'd so like to use it later. That was our problem. 30 seconds.
No, I think they've heard enough. For heavens knows I'd start sounding like a politician.
Well, first of all, thank you all for being here, and thank you, Ramona, for organizing. I have flyers over here. I would love to have your vote. If you want to learn more about me, please pick one up and go to my website, joycekravik.com. We will be posting new stuff every day, so you'll see what we're doing and where we're going. There is an old African proverb that says, when elephants fight, the grass gets trampled. And I think that's what we've been doing way too much of, and these guys insinuated the same thing. We fight too much among ourselves when the real enemy are the liberals. And there's so many of them out there that we don't need to fight with each other. We can have civil debates, and as Dave said, that's always healthy. But we don't need to be fighting with each other. We need to be bringing everybody to the table. We need to be working together. It takes a lot of energy to win elections. And we need everybody in the ballgame. We don't need to be creating chaos. We need to be inviting everybody to come help us. You plan an activity. You decide what best you can do in your communities. We do a lot in the fall, and I hope that a lot of you will do this in your local elections. We go to Friday night football games, and we take literature, we put it on cars, and then we go back later to make sure nobody threw it on the ground. But it's a good way to reach people. We go to Walmart parking lots. I can't tell you the hundreds of Walmart parking lots I've gone in all over the Southeast to put flyers on windshields. Start at the back, go forward. By the time they see you and say, you can't do that, you've already done half the parking lot. And you say, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't allowed to do that. You find out what works in your local community to win your elections. And this fall, we've got some really big ones. You've got your local municipal elections, and they are very important. And then next year, you know what that one's all about. We have to get rid of Kay Hagan. That is a disaster in our state. We need every single person to help in that race. It is not going to be easy. The Democrats are going to be pouring money into this state because it is a target. It's always a target. And that is one. She has been the most loyal vote for Obama. Everything he wants, she has rubber stamped it. She has not represented the people of North Carolina. We need to make sure that we find the best candidate to run against her. We need to, everybody, work in that race. Thank you all so much.
In addition to having served in the United States Marine Corps, the North Carolina General Assembly, and the Franklin County Republican Party, I also attended Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary, and I served as the worship leader in the Adult Sunday School for New Life Baptist Church. I'm a born-again believer, and I am led by God. Everything that I do in consultation with the Scriptures and the principles of Jesus Christ. And in order to apply those principles into a free republic, we have to understand how freedom works, ladies and gentlemen. And we come to God in freedom. And the more we have freedom in the United States, the more we have true liberty, the more we're going to see people come to God of their own will, because that's the only way you can come to God, is by being drawn by the Father to Jesus Christ. And that's absolutely important. And when it comes to the general election, sure, it's true that liberals are our enemy, but we also have to know how to win their votes, or we're not going to beat Kay Hagan in November. So we have to know how to frame the debate in order to win those votes from the Democratic Party, how to pull the support from the liberals, and also how to win the votes of Democrats in the general election so that we can go forward and put a Republican in that seat and stop the Obama machine. We also have to fight for religious freedom in the United States. The Johnson Amendment of 1965, the 501c3 designation that actually puts the federal government in charge of what churches can and cannot say, is not something that you hear Republicans talk about, and that has to change. Religious freedom is one of the fundamental freedoms that we have in the United States. It's in the First Amendment right along with the freedom of speech. We have to stand up for the right to bear arms, and we have to be non-compromising about what it says in our North Carolina State Constitution and in our United States Constitution. It says the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. There's no question about that. That means that these principles are ones that we live or die on. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to go back to the Constitution. This is the United States of America. And if we do not restore the constitutional order, we're in a lot more trouble than people realize. My name is Glenn Bradley. You can find me on the web at glennbradley.net. I have a whole wealth of materials over here on the table with the red tablecloth. And if there's any questions about my position on anything, including the marriage amendment, those materials are available for all. Thank you so much for coming out, and thank you, Ms. Tim, for organizing.
Again, I'd like to thank our candidates, Marcus Keeler, Elizabeth Yates, Joyce Potter, Glenn Bradley. Thank you for being here tonight. Do us a favor, if you would, when you go home or before you get home, tell 3 people that weren't here about what you heard about each of these people and why the Republican Party must prevail this coming season and next. Will you do that? 3 people. Can you do that? Very good. That concludes our evening. God bless you. Thank you. And thank our candidates one more time, please.
We hope to have the video up on YouTube sometime tomorrow. We hope to have the video up on YouTube sometime tomorrow.